Please welcome the Democratic and Republican nominees for governor of the state of California, Jerry Brown and Meg Whitman.
Come on, let's get it on. Enough with the ads. Jerry Brown and Meg Whitman take the stage for their first debate. So, who's ahead after round one? Bringing the heat, another scorcher in Southern California. Not quite as bad as yesterday, but still, But we've got a new way for you to stay cool in the California heat. Oh, but this isn't cool.
Oh, I don't know what to say. This was a complete accident. I'm so sorry. It's Amanda. I'm so sorry. It was fed to me wrong.
On live TV, the finale of Australia's Top Model. Millions of people watching. The host botched the announcement. 3 words. Want to get away? All the stories people are talking about and everything you need to know right now on The Filter. Hello again on The Filter Forefront, our top 4 of the day, including pray to your God or whomever you believe in. But we'll begin with this. It's beginning to feel a lot like politics tonight at UC Davis. Meg Whitman and Jerry Brown settled in for the first of 3 debates in their race to become California's governor. Here's a small taste of their first great debate.
We have got to prove to the people of California we can turn this state around. And I will do that.
When powerful forces come, she'll cave. I've been in the kitchen. I know the heat. I can take it. I got the know-how. And yes, I've got the spine and the intelligence and the wisdom, and at my age, the independence to do what's right.
I think Californians are really smart. I don't think you can buy elections. I think Californians are too smart. What you can do is get your message out and tell Californians what your view is of the way forward. And that is what I have tried to do.
The last time you were governor, you ran for president twice, the first time within 2 years of taking office. What assurances can you offer voters that this time around, should you be elected, you would focus on this job?
Age? Hell, if I was younger, you know I'd be running again. But I'd say at 74, whatever it's going to be in a couple of years, I'm ready. One more thing, I now have a wife. And, I come home at night. I don't try to close down the bars of Sacramento like I used to do when I was governor of California.
Well, one surprise, Jerry Brown was pretty funny. Voters have been waiting to finally hear these two discuss issues. It's been a long campaign, and to this point, we've only seen them through commercials. Very expensive commercials, I might add. Meg Whitman has spent $119 million on her own campaign. Some felt she'd be overpowered by Brown's years of debate experience, but tonight, it seemed like she held her own. Our contributors, Doctor of Social Ethics Charlotte Laws, and from RonKayLA.com, Ron Kaye. Our pictures are furnished by Skype. Ron, we're going to get going with you. After months and months of ads, it comes down to 5 weeks and 3 debates. Who came out on top tonight, and do you think these debates will determine who becomes the next governor?
I thought it was a terrific debate where we saw 2 smart people, 2 pros, really go at it with a lot of knowledge. We learned that unions are rotten and business is rotten and the state government is rotten, and that the green energy is going to save us and cutting taxes to business is going to save it. There was no engagement of the problem. I mean, that was what was wrong with it. It was terrific, actually, and we learned that Jerry's funny as hell and Meg has a great smile. But I really don't think there was any engagement of anything that might possibly bring the people of California together to actually work for solutions to any of the state's problems. And that's what's really scary about it, is there wasn't anything that really moved the ball forward, despite the intelligence, the preparation, the skill of both candidates, who are formidable, to tell you the truth.
Charlotte, what do you think? Did your ball get moved tonight?
Well, I thought they both did a good job, and I actually don't agree with you, Ron, that they were, I think they were pretty specific, and I was actually surprised that Meg did such a good job. I think that she, in a way, had an advantage because expectations were so low for her, but I thought her smile was forced. I didn't think she had a very good smile, but I thought she came up with the issues and was pretty specific about them. I thought her attacks on Jerry were bad. I feel like she probably lost some voters because of that. And it was funny, during the debate on Jerry's Facebook page, they were posting all the responses to all the negative things she was saying about him. So that was pretty funny watching that throughout. But I think Jerry's strength is his humor, his experience, and when he said that he really loves California and he really is a public servant and he really wants to make things right and do a good job. I think people believe that. And so I think that it kind of depends on where you're at as far as who you think won. I think they both did a very good job.
All right, well, that's the first of a few, and we'll continue on with that. Now, do you have tattoos? If not, you think they're ugly? Even if you don't like tattoos, you have to agree. It's up to your neighbor if he wants one, right? You shouldn't get to decide what's best for your neighbor, should you? Hermosa Beach? Hermosa continues to look for ways to ban tattoo parlors from their town. Apparently, the beach city thinks the shops bring in a negative element, and they've been working to get them out for about 4 years now. After banning tattoo shops, the city was sued, and a few weeks ago, the ban was declared unconstitutional by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, who said tattoos are protected as free speech. Now, Hermosa is trying to slap a 45-day ban on tattoo parlors while they work to create new policy to keep them out for good. The temporary ban is on the agenda tonight at the city council meeting. They want tattoo parlors gone. Is Hermosa Beach fighting a fight they can't win here, Charlotte?
I think they are if they're looking to completely ban. I think it is a free speech issue, and you can look to sex shops and what happened over the past decade or two with regards to that and how the courts have upheld that that's free speech. And so they do need to exist. But, you know, the city council can put in zoning regulations. They can say this tattoo parlor can't be closer than 500 feet from a school or a church or a residential area.
Let me ask you something, Charlotte. I get it. But you know something? Well, in today's world, tattoos, like them or not, is really considered an art form. And I don't think only unseedy people show up at tattoo parlors. And that's what Hermosa is saying. We don't want that element in here. But that element, people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars have tattoos.
Well, that's true. I mean, I personally, when I was single, I would find out right away if the guy had a tattoo, and I would never go out with him if he did. That's just my thing. But I agree with you. I mean, I have girlfriends who have tattoos. My stepteacher has a tattoo. I mean, she's a perfectly respectable girl. So I agree with that. But I do think they could put some regulations if it's a concern, and it would not be in breach of the First Amendment.
Don't be a hater, Charlotte. Don't be a tattoo hater. Ron?
I know.
Ron, what do you think?
Well, has Hermosa Beach become San Clemente all of a sudden? They've lived off of the surfer crowd, young kids drinking, hanging out, getting tattoos. I mean, it was a funky coastal area, and I guess it's been upgraded with a lot of gentrification and wealth that's come in as the beach has become more precious. But it's utterly ridiculous. They don't have a leg to stand on. Business that obeys the laws, that doesn't create scenes or problems. I mean, people aren't creating scenes in the tattoo shop. They're going in there and getting a tattoo, whether you like it or don't like tattoos. I guess it's free speech, but it's certainly the right to do business and the right to get a tattoo. And they ought to get over it and stop pretending that there's something they're not.
And Ron, you have that giant skull and crossbones on your back, don't you?
No, I got the filter right across my forehead, Fred.
Okay. Here we go. For most people, your wedding day is certainly one of the biggest days of your life. But marriages have been changing over the years for several reasons. The reason you didn't expect? Money. Marriages have hit an all-time low in this country, the biggest cause of recession. People simply cannot afford it anymore. Numbers from this year's census show 52% of people 18 and over say they're married, down from 57% 10 years ago. Somehow, the number of women that are married is even lower, less than 50%. Census numbers say it's because of the recession. Think that's really the reason? And has the institution of marriage changed in our country forever, Ron?
Well, that's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard, that it's the recession. I mean, marriage has been changing a long time. Like the average American, I've been married twice. I did it in courthouses. It cost $25. The era of the $100,000 bash for a wedding is mostly over, unless you're really well-to-do. People are living together. They're making sure they have a good relationship, that they not only love each other, but they can get along with one another. So marriage isn't dead. It's just something that happens after people really have a solid relationship, instead of the first time they get moonstruck by another person. You're seeing women having babies without being married, prominent stars and other people. It's just not the institution that was, really written by the Victorian age. And I'm willing to bet you that marriages that grow that way last a lot longer than marriages in the old days over the last many years.
Charlotte, what do you think?
Well, I don't agree with you, Ron, because actually there are a lot of studies that show that the way a man makes a decision about getting married has to do with stability, financial stability, and getting to a certain point in his life, and then looking around and saying which women are available to marry. Whereas women will find a man and say, oh, I'm in love with him, I want to marry him. So it's completely a different way that they look at the particular issue. But I do think that there are other causes. I do think that sexual promiscuity plays a role. I think the fact that there's less social pressure to get married right away, and people are generally waiting, so it's easier to wait. I think there are lots of other reasons why the statistic is coming out the way it is. But as for the $100,000 wedding, my wedding would have cost $100,000, but it was actually under $10,000. And most people don't know you can seriously negotiate. My dress was $2,000 in the store. I paid $300 for it. And most people don't realize that they're taken to the cleaners by the wedding industry. So it can be cheap. If you want to get married for little money.
And if you want to get married for little money, call Charlotte. She knows how to do it.
That's right.
All right. Now, when it comes to religion, are you enlightened? Do you know what to believe? Do you know what others believe? Do you know anything? According to a new survey, atheists and agnostics know more than so-called faithful people when it comes to religion. A Pew Research study found that 86% of people believe in a higher power, but many of them don't know their own traditions, and even fewer know about that practice and belief of religious groups around the world. So we figured we would test the religious knowledge of a few normal folks. Ron and Charlotte, I'm going to ask you both a series of questions. We'll have a winner. He or she will likely end up in heaven. The other one, well, God help you. When you know the answer, clap. That will be the key. It's time to play Are You Enlightened? And here we go. Number one, when you know the answer, clap. The Dalai Lama is Hindu, Muslim, or Buddhist? Who?
Buddhist.
Buddhist.
No, wait.
Oh,
Who clapped first?
What?
Charlotte clapped first. So
Buddhist.
she gets it, Ron. You got to clap before you answer. One for Charlotte. Question 2. Thank you. Mother Teresa was Catholic, Mormon, or Jewish?
Catholic.
Catholic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, now, Charlotte, good Lord. Ron, you were right. Catholic. You've got to clap.
I forgot to clap.
1-1.
It's the clapping that's the problem.
That's right. The name of the game is Let's Clap. Here we go. Number 3. Vishnu and Shiva are central figures in what religion?
Hinduism.
Ron is correct. Good job. 2-1.
You clap, Ron. I didn't hear you clap.
The person whose writings inspired the Protestant Reformation was Thomas Aquinas, John Wesley, or Martin Luther? Ron.
Luther.
Ron.
Martin Luther.
Correct. Uh-oh, you got to get this one, Charlotte.
He's a faster clapper than me. That's not my fault.
Well, I've
Fast
heard-
hands, Charlotte. That's the secret.
And that's written around town, Ron. Okay, finally. Name the 4 Gospels of the Bible. 4 Gospels of the Bible. Time's up.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yes, you got it, Charlotte.
I clapped 4. I didn't know that.
Well, you should clap 4 because, Charlotte, you lost 3-2. Ron, congratulations. Good job.
I'm
Guys,
going
I'm
to
going to have
heaven.
to go get a tattoo now because I'm so depressed.
all right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, you think it's hot outside? It's cool in here, but even you can be cooler than me.
If you're so smart, prove it. Contact NBC Filter on Twitter or Facebook, or send an email to thefilter@nbcuni.com. We care what you think, but if we don't like it, we'll filter you.